Sometimes you get lucky with a great mother-in-law, and sometimes you don't. Am I the asshole for not telling my husband I'm pregnant again? I, a 36-year-old woman, have been married to my husband, who's 38, for 4 years, and we have one daughter together. Now I'm pregnant again, but this time, I haven't told my husband. Why? Because I don't want to deal with his mother, and I know that as soon as I tell him, he'll tell her. Let me explain why I'm feeling this way. When I got pregnant with our daughter, my husband called his mom when we were taking the test. It was supposed to be this intimate, private moment for the two of us, but the second the test was on the counter, he was on the phone with her. She rushed over like it was some kind of emergency. When the timer went off, he handed the test to his mom. Not me, her. She opened it, and when it came back positive, he hugged her, cried with her, and they left me standing there like some kind of third wheel in my own pregnancy reveal. I didn't even have time to process the fact that I was going to be a mom, because suddenly it was all about him and his mom. And that set the tone for the rest of the pregnancy. At our first ultrasound, when we saw the heartbeat, he held her hand instead of mine. They hugged, cried, shared the moment together, and once again, I was on the outside looking in. When I felt the baby move for the first time, he called her immediately, and they sat together, talking excitedly like I wasn't even there. It was like I didn't exist, just a vessel carrying their baby. She invited herself to every doctor's appointment. I had no say in anything because she'd already made decisions for me. Even the nursery, something I was excited to decorate on my own, was taken over by them. Together, they painted, picked out furniture, and arranged everything, despite my protests. I felt invisible. Every time I tried to assert myself, it was met with dismissal or a quick, "Oh, but it'll be fine." And then came the birth. After hours of labor, when my daughter was finally born, his mom held my baby before I did. I had just given birth, exhausted, emotionally raw, and his mom was the first one to hold her. I didn't even get to enjoy that first sacred moment with my daughter. I felt robbed. So now I'm pregnant again, and honestly, I've loved the fact that I've been able to experience everything on my own this time. I enjoyed seeing the positive test without anyone hovering over me. I got to hear the first heartbeat at my appointment without anyone else's opinions or presence overshadowing the moment. I've cherished those little first flutters in private, without having to share them with anyone. I'm almost 24 weeks along, and I haven't told a soul. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm happy. I feel more connected to this pregnancy than I ever did the first time, simply because I don't have anyone intruding on my experience. For once, I get to enjoy it for myself. But here's the thing. I know that eventually I'll have to tell him. And when I do, the floodgates will open, and his mother will be back in the picture, probably taking over like she did before. I can already see it happening. Her at every appointment, her making all the decisions again, and me getting pushed out of the way in my own pregnancy. That's why I've held off for so long. I just want to keep enjoying this for as long as I can before I lose it to them again. My husband is not a bad guy, but he has serious boundary issues with his mom. He doesn't see it as a problem. He thinks I'm overreacting and being hormonal whenever I bring it up. I've tried to tell him that I need these moments to be between us, but he just doesn't get it. For him, pregnancy is a family affair, and his mom is part of that family. But for me, pregnancy is something sacred between me, my body, and my baby. And I want my husband to be involved, not his mom. So, am I the asshole for keeping this pregnancy to myself and wanting to enjoy it alone, rather than sharing it with them like last time? Update. After reading the responses, I've been doing a lot of thinking. It's clear that my husband's relationship with his mom isn't going to change unless I set some firm boundaries. So I've decided to sit down with him and tell him about the pregnancy. But I'm also going to make it crystal clear that this time is going to be different. I will be the one to experience the special moments, and his mother will not be involved unless I say so. If he can't respect that, then we'll need to have a serious conversation about where our marriage is headed, because I refuse to feel like an outsider in my own life again. I love my husband, but this is something I'm not willing to compromise on anymore. I deserve to have these moments with him, and if he can't see that, then we have bigger issues than just his mom's involvement. Wish me luck.